All Saints Day, 1966. Pro football finally comes to New Orleans.
Well, I think Russell Long and Hale Boggs made it clear that if New Orleans didn't get a franchise, there could be some investigation into the National Football League's practices as to whether or not it was a monopoly.
And I said, Archbishop, here's the thing. I want you to tell me whether you think it would be sacrilegious to have the Saints as a name for the football team. He said, no, indeed. He says, it would be a perfect name. And he says, besides, I have this terrible feeling that somehow we're going to need all the extra help we could get.
It was like a burst of fire that was waiting to be lit, and with the oxygen that was in New Orleans. And that happened in the 60s. And it brought us together in more ways than I think one could imagine.
The question was whether or not the people could afford, the price of the Major League ticket, and that was quickly dispelled the minute the Saints opened that box office. Since the very beginning, it has been a great love affair. I mean, there's this great anticipation in just an average game. Well, you can imagine the first kickoff of the first game for our now beloved Saints. And the ball is kicked basically to the goal line, and Gilliam runs it all the way back for a touchdown. I mean, the stands went absolutely wild, absolutely wild.
Indeed, rookie John Gilliam's touchdown on the first play in franchise history touched off a tumult in Tulane Stadium. Out of this initial hysteria emerged the first generation of Saints heroes.
271!
Quarterback Billy Kilmer took center stage, and the Saint Air game took wing, with veteran pass catchers such as Dave Parks joining a Polish kid from Steubenville, Ohio named Danny Abramowitz.
Hey, 71s too are good, Bill. Threes into the short side like that. I can get this guy on turnouts now. Turnout in the short side. Let's do it in the short side. Turnouts in the short side, Bill.
Okay, Danny, run a 70-foot turnout on the short side.
Danny Abramowitz, a genuine competitor, headstrong from the very beginning.
The dreaded sound always is the rookies that knock on the door and bring your playbook, and finally one day it was me. So I left my playbook, I went right downstairs, because all I had done during the exhibition season was basically run down on special teams and things. I'd never played in the game as a wide receiver. And I went into Coach Fears and told him that you didn't give me a chance to play, that I'm not leaving. And he sort of was put back, and he says, you're not joking, are you? I says, I'm as serious as I could be.
And so he stayed, catching passes in 105 consecutive games, often risking life and limb running routes into the so-called charm of Old Tulane Stadium.
Real danger wasn't just the hedges, but the fact that the ground crew there at Tulane would prune those things. So there would be, in addition to the green leaves sticking out, there would be stubs sticking out that could really poke you. So they had some real problems catching balls going into the end zone.
Remember Al Hurt going absolutely bananas. Al was our official cheerleader. He had the microphone in his hand. I doubt if that would ever happen again. I think the league would ever let an Al Hurt cheer with a public address mic.
But in those early years, neither Al Hurt's horn nor Ben Har's heroics could guide the Saints' chariot to the promised land of victory. Yet somehow it didn't seem to matter that much, for Sunday afternoons at Old Tulane Stadium had so much more to offer.